back to the ETF Inspector. It is Friday, October 3rd, just about 7:30 at night, and this is our daily recap video for our 3 YieldMax weekly paying funds. Ulty, the Ultra Option Income Strategy Fund, SLTY, the Ultra Short Option Income Strategy Fund, and Lfgy, the Crypto Industry Option Income Fund. Reminder, as always, I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1. I post when videos are premiering. I repost things like Granite Shares announcing their yield boost declarations, everything. YieldMax, Roundhill, all the good stuff. All right. And kind of running like a little comparison. I hit 1,000 followers on X the same day that I hit 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. So since then, I've picked up 770 subscribers on YouTube and only 476 on X. So it seems like YouTube's climbing a little faster. Not that you care. All right, take a quick look at the market. Ulty ended up flat for the day. They were up for the majority of the day and ended right at 547, but that's okay. We had a nice week and got a nice payment in the middle of that week. So important to remember. So every single one of these weeks, if they hadn't paid the distribution, the share price would be up that much more. So if you just take all the distributions over the course of the entire year, if you didn't get those paid out, add all that to our share price. That's what our share price would be. So this isn't a growth fund. If it was, it would be doing great. We'd be up pretty nice right now. But instead, we're choosing to take it as income instead. So it's still working out very well. All right, so Ulti ended flat. That's why it gets green. As long as you don't go down, you're green. Lfgy up again, 0.87%. What a week, especially paying a nice distribution in the middle. You can't even see it. So it's been on a great month now, up 9.7% over the last month. And then SLTY, poor SLTY, opened at 50 not that long ago. Looks like was that August 21st. And in a little over a month, they're already down to 40. So they are struggling. But today they were down 1%. After hours, up 1.4%. So maybe you could get lucky and catch somebody not paying attention to their bids and asks and make a little profit. Okay, let's take a look. I want to look at one thing real quick. Make sure that I applied all the negatives to the purchases before we get too far, because I don't want to be that far into a video only to find out that I wasn't prepared. Okay, everything's done. We'll start with Ulty. It's everyone's favorite. All right, and starting off with trades, they sold some share. They sold all their shares of First Solar, so that's why it was lined out on the thumbnail. We're done with First Solar, and we did well with them. I mean, even if you just take a look over the past, say, month or so. Where is it? Over the past month, they're up 15.7%. 3 months, they're up almost 30%. 6 months, 78%. We've been in and out of them, so not really sure. I mean, I could literally go back and dig through, but it's too much time. In any case, we're selling them at a profit, so that will go towards our credit officially when they're doing it. It just doesn't on mine. Mine's just the option income. Robinhood and Rigetti, we also sold shares, but not all of them, just taking some profits. Again, Robinhood has had a very nice run. Look at that, 6 months, up 330%. Whew. 3 months, they're up almost 60%. 1 month, up 46%. So they have done well for us. And Rigetti has gone crazy as well. Look at that, 1 month, up 161%. But we've had Rigetti for a while. 3 months, up 191%. 6 months, up 434%. Don't you wish you bought Rigetti? Or maybe you did and you're celebrating. All right, after that, it's Friday, so we got to close everything that expires on 10/3 and roll it. Generally, we're rolling to next week. We're not too worried about strike prices this Friday. We just want to know how much money we made or lost and move on to the weekend. Sunday's video is where we take that deep dive looking at share prices or strike prices on the underlyings, trading ranges that we want these to trade within, percentages in and out of the money, implied volatility, all that good stuff. So this one, the highlight reel, so we can get our weekend started. Bullish cost $1.5 million to close and roll to next week. Bitmine immersion cost $2.4 million on the close and roll. So, nope. One of them started something different. CNC, this was another new one. You saw it added. I can't even remember the name. Centene Corporation. I've never heard of them. Maybe you guys have. But we didn't buy any shares. We just started a put spread on them. As you can see, selling puts at 39 or 390 maybe. 39. Selling puts at 39, buying them at 37.50. That collected 1.5 million. CoreWeave, we're rolling the next week. That cost 1.2 million. If we're rolling the next week and it's costing us money, that means the share price of the underlying stock ran up beyond our strike price, and it is costing us money to close it out. But that means the shares that we own are increasing in value. Figma cost us $672,000 rolling the next week. First Solar, we sold all our shares, so we had to close out our options to go along with them. That cost us $3.1 million to close those out. Hims and Hers rolling to next week, brought in $2.2 million. I think they got beat up today. Yeah, so we probably would have been paying to close them out if it hadn't been for the ugly day today. Robinhood, $3.1 million debit or cost to close and roll to next week. Lululemon, we have a put spread, right? So we closed out last week's, and in this case, it actually cost us, not sure why, $18 put on Lululemon. It 180. It closed at closed $5. Wow, in that case, we actually did well. I think we must have closed it while it was a good bit higher, right? There was points. Maybe if we closed it first thing in the morning around 178, 179, we made out well. If they'd have waited till the end of the day, it would have cost a lot more. But in any case, it did cost us a decent amount, and then we went ahead a little bit of intraday trading. So here's your active management. So they sold 172.50s and then turned around and bought them back and sold 180s. So that little in between resulted in about $102,000 profit. So gotta like the active management. MP Materials Corp cost $2.8 million to close and roll to next week. Open Door, we actually brought in a small profit, $390,000, closing and rolling to next week. And it's just looking like the puts are just pretty expensive on these. We're selling calls for 32 and 46 cents, but we're buying puts for 22 and 33. That's eating up a majority of the profits. Palantir brought in $1.3 million on that close and roll. So these were already rolled the next week, so all we were doing was adjusting the strike prices down closer to the share price. Pony AI cost $990,000, closing and rolling the next week. Quantum Computing, QUBT, whole lot of lines of transactions here. Overall cost $12.7 million on the close and roll to next week. Rigetti, we sold some shares, so we just had to close out options that were already in play. That cost $3.2 million. Rocket Lab cost $5.3 million on their close and roll to next week. New Scale Power cost $5.5 million, closing and rolling the next week, and they not only are selling calls, but they're also selling puts to help pay for the puts. So we can see to generate income, we sold calls at $1.11 and $1.32 per share. But to purchase the protective puts, they cost $84 and $94. That's eaten up a ton of that profit. So they went ahead and sold some puts to help pay for the protective puts, getting back 30 and 19 cents per share on those. So long as the share price doesn't drop below the purchased, the long puts, and make it all the way to the short puts, that's a good plan. If it gets all the way down there, then it hurts a little. And then finally, SoundHound cost $6 million on their close and roll to next week. So obviously we had lots of costs. $43 million was the option trading loss on the day. All right, so we only had 2 days that weren't losses. The rest were, and obviously carried heavier, but that's okay, right? So when everything we're holding goes up too much, we're going to lose our trades, but we're going to make out better on the share prices. All right, so when we take a look here, normally we color things in orange when it's a complete close and roll. We color it here so we don't have to talk about the options, but it's Friday. We're not talking about any options. The week's over, and we'll talk about next week's options on Sunday's video. So Affirm was down 3.3%. Yeah, we'll just kind of move through that. 74.83. Bullish was down 4.5% to 64.81. Bitmine Immersion was up 0.22% to 56.63. Coinbase up 2.1% to 380.02. CoreWeave was down 2.3% to 134.79. We had $548 million in First American government bonds and $59 million in cash and other. Figma was up 2.18% to 53.04. First Solar dropped to 0.86%, or dropped that amount to 230.13. Let's see if we sold it at a better price than that or not. 230. We did. We sold it at 233. So we got $3 more per share on 500,000 shares. So nice job there. Actually sold it up for the day. Let's see. Galaxy closed at 36.16. Hims and Hers was the big loser, down 9.19% to 52.55. Talking about a whole lot of losses. Glad we stayed flat. Robinhood was up just over 2% to 148.67. I remember a couple of weeks ago they were 100. So Lucid Group, this one's fairly new for us, up 2.78% to 24.77. Lululemon ended at 175.59. So if it's just a put spread, we don't own shares. We don't keep track of the increase because it's not increasing values of our shares since we don't have any. MP Material Corp up 0.75% to 71.49. Strategy down 0.2 to 351.63. Open Door was up 1.25 to $8.11. Palo Alto Networks 207.19 closing price. Palantir down almost 7.5% to 173.07. Pony AI down 1.6% to 23.67, and then Quantum Computing comes in 23.2% increase. So they were the top gainer for Ulty, $24.62. Rigetti up 13, excuse me, 0.16% to 40.06. Rocket Lab up over 7% to 56.16. Rocket Companies down 3.21%, 17.78. New Scale Power was up a little over 1.5% to $40.11. SoundHound AI up just barely 0.06% or 1 penny to 17.85. Symbotic down 0.82% to 63.10, and Upstart down 1.7% to 51.96. So it felt like there was a whole lot more downs than ups, but I guess the ups were just bigger overall. So it resulted in a $19 million increase in the value of the shares that we hold within the fund. Assets under management at the start of the day, 3.3 billion. Yesterday, 800,000 new shares were purchased, bringing the outstanding shares up to 615,875,000. Our NAV when the day started was approximately 549. For some reason on Fridays, it takes absolutely forever for the automatics from Excel to pull the final number on funds, but we saw on this it said 547, but Excel still thinks it's 548. Either way. All right, and then this was actually today, 9.13 cents per share is what we got on our Ulty shares. All right. Next, we'll check out Lfgy. They've just been doing great lately, the last 3-4 weeks. Okay, no shares of anything bought or sold, so they just got straight into closing and rolling their positions to next week. Bitmine Immersion brought in 109,000 on their roll, so they did better, right? Ulty had to spend a bunch of money closing out their Bitmine Immersion, 2.4 million. Lfgy made money, 109,000. Coinbase cost 546,000 on the roll to next week. Core Scientific cost 287,000 on the roll. iShares Ethereum Trust ETF brought in 111,000 rolling to next week. Galaxy Digital, $146,000 credit. GameStop, a $47,000 credit. Now, for some reason, GameStop's now showing GME1. I don't know, did they change their ticker? Or is that just something goofy showing up? That doesn't come up as GME1. Wasn't sure what was going on there. All right, Robinhood, they made $210,000 on their close and roll. Hut 8 Corp cost $589,000 on the roll. Mara Holdings brought in $238,000. Nvidia brought in $52,000. PayPal cost $17,000. Riot Platforms was a profit of $210,000, and XYZ cost $8,000, all rolling to next week. And so that totals up to a negative or a debit or a loss of $322,000 on the trading day, options wise. Well, that's the only thing they traded. There was also a $1.7 million increase in the value of the shares. So we'll take a look at how that happened. Bitmine, again, up 0.2 to 56.63. Bitdeer Technology, the big winner over here, up over 10.25% to 19.42. Clean Spark, up 5.28% to 15.94. Coinbase was up 2.1% to 380.02. Core Scientific down 1.5% to 17.82. Circle Internet Group down 2.6% to 145.78. Good job on them not being the big loser. iShares Ethereum Trust ETF up 0.6% to 34.26. Got a little bit of money in their government funds now, 4.8 million, but they got never mind, negative 4.7 million in cash. Galaxy Digital down just about 1% to 36.16. GameStop was the big loser, down 6.87% to 25.35. They're still sitting pretty high overall. They jumped out of their trading range. Yeah, look at that month, up 12%, and that includes today's drop. So they're up 23.5% before that drop. Robinhood up 2% to 148.67. Hut 8 Corp was up 2.7% to 40.10. iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF was up 1.5% to 69.81. There's another one that's had a great time recently. That's their 1 month, up 11.8%. 9.5% of it was this week. All right, Mara up 0.16%, 1882. MBTX has been climbing up to 290.60. These puts that are purchased are just continuing to tank in value, worth less than half of what they were not too long ago. Mercado Libre down 3.2% to $2,172.75. Strategy down 0.2 to 351.63. NU Holdings was up a little over 0.5% to 15.31. Nvidia was down 0.67% to 187.62. Opera was down 2.19% to 17.90. PayPal was up almost 0.5% to 69.25. Riot Platforms up just about 1% to 19.44. And Block was up 0.18% to 76.95. So that's how we came up with an increase in value of $1.7 million. This obviously updated after I typed that in. So we will transfer the new number. It was like $1,000 different. Not that it really makes all that big of a difference. But LFGY, finally, we're in the 200 million range. 204 was the assets under management at the start of the day. People did buy into the fund yesterday, 100,000 shares. It's funny how things work. People wait for things to go up before they buy. So it's at 37.29. They had plenty of time. Well, we've been down in the 33s, high 33s. Now people are buying. Now that it's climbing again, up over 10% from where it was. But hey, it started the day at $36.66 NAV and climbed. 37.29 was the closing price. Is 51.20? I can't remember if I updated that or not. Nope, that's not updated yet. 43.44 is what we received today. 43.44. So I did actually sell a portion of my LFGY shares today. I kept my original 100, but I've sold all the shares that my drip has purchased and put money towards blocks. So I'm interested in them. Blocks seems very similar in the holdings of LFGY, but the trading, they sell calls and puts. All right, and then finally, SLTY. SLTY went ahead and added Tesla. They shorted it, so they think Tesla is going down. That's a very nice high price to short it at, especially if Tesla runs back down to where it has recently dropped. Where do we have Tesla? We have too many stocks to go through. Yeah, so Tesla's been down low 300s, down in the past 3 months. It's been into the high 200s. Before that, yeah, we were in the 220s. So if Tesla's got the potential to drop, if it retraces to where it was 3 to 6 months ago, this could drop 50%. So maybe a good one to short. So that brought in 471,000, and then they just started closing and rolling their positions the next week. Duolingo brought in almost 13,000. GitLab brought in 12,500. Lemonade brought in 6,600. RH brought in 9,300, and Tesla. This is starting the reverse collar strategy to go with the new shares they just shorted. Brought in $5,800. So overall, they had a positive or a gain or credit of $47,000 on the trading day, and they made money trading every single day of the week. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. Everybody, when Ulty is doing well, but they're losing their trades, people are complaining, hey, they're not good at trading. Well, this is what good trading looks like. They win every single day, making more than enough to pay out the distribution, and that comes with your share prices dropping. So share prices dropping is going to bring your overall value of your fund tanking. Ulty's doing right what we want it to do, kind of staying flat and paying us every week. So that drop went with a decrease in value of 288,000 a day. So they short everything here. So with this bull run we've been on, every time things go up, it drops the value of this fund. Astera Lab starts off as the big loser, down 4.2%, but that's a good thing in SLTY because they're shorted shares. So when they drop, they increase the value 45,000. They're just over $200 now. Bloom Energy up 2.6%. As you can see, that hurts the value. $90.30 closing price. Bitdeer was the big winner, up over 10% today to $19.42. But that's bad, right? Big increase, or maybe not big winner. Circle Internet Group down 2.6% to 145.78. Duolingo up over 3% to 322.63. Enphase Energy down 2.5% to 36.80. GitLab up 0.9% to 46.91. Iron, whatever that is, brand new, just added it yesterday, up 7.3%. So they picked a really bad time to short that one. $50.46 closing price. Kratos Defense and Security Solutions, this is the other one that we added yesterday. They went up today as well, 1.2% to 96.19. Lemonade up 2.27% to 54.51. Nebius Group up 1.68% to 127.98, and RH up 1.8% to 207.63. So all of those moves resulted in a decrease in value of $288,000. SLTY closed at 40.50. I did actually remember to update that one today. Assets under management at the start of the day, 15,296,000. Outstanding shares, 375,000. NAV when it started was $40.79. I do think I forgot to update that one though, so let's take a peek. SLTY 63.46. So if you own SLTY, this is the only thing that I make videos on that I do not own shares of. I don't own SLTY. But if you do, you got 63.46 per share today. All right, that's all we got for our Friday video. Oh, I got to do a backup real quick. I forgot when I started to start with my thank you. So let's see if we can find it real quick. Thank yous are important to me, so I want to make sure I do it. And I know this person will still be watching. There it is. So in the live chat yesterday, this is a good reason to be in the live chat. Grumpy Toad bought 50 ETF Inspector gift memberships and gave them out. And he has already bought 50 other ones previously. So Grumpy Toad has now bought 100 gift memberships for people that they have been able to receive for free. And the funny thing is, let's see. View your channel. YouTube Studio. Let's look at the memberships. That doesn't make sense. The math's not caught up yet. Because he has done 20, 30, and then 50 yesterday. So it's possible those 50 just haven't shown up yet. But I'm not sure. I thought that it was going to be at 106 and basically 6 people have paid for their membership and Grumpy Toad bought the rest. But in any case, the numbers are kind of delayed. So, all right. But that was the thank you. Thank you very much to Grumpy Toad and everybody else that got a free membership. Don't forget to say thank you to Grumpy Toad. And then now we've got the dad joke of the day before we can bring this video to an end. So thanks for watching. Appreciate all the likes, shares, comments, all the support. So I got a dad joke for you before we start our weekend. What do you call two octopuses that look alike? Identical. I don't know, is it two octopuses or two octopi? I didn't feel like being nerdy and looking it up, but identical twins. Okay, have a good night. We've got more coming for you. Saturday, I do my personal trades and holdings video. I might even make it tonight and just premiere it in the morning. And then Sunday, we do our week look aheads and payment guesstimate videos. So, also, I'm thinking about making a standalone video on blocks. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. Give me some feedback there. But okay, have a good night. Catch you in the next video.